With security established, the first LCM was signaled to come in. Johnston lent a hand in tying it to the bank. The battalion was now ready to begin its basic mission, construction of the SDC post, following the plan drawn up by Johnston and his counterpart. The wall for the triangular post would be of mud, which would become almost as hard as concrete when it dried. A blockhouse was constructed at each corner of the triangle. Captain Conn personally supervised many phases, while Johnston was everywhere, observing and advising. One of his recommendations was for use of concertina wire. Their joint plan also included the digging of a moat surrounding this entire post. Construction was frequently interrupted by mortar duels with the VC, who subjected them to harassing mortar and small arms fire. Casualties were sustained by both sides. This SDC soldier received mortar fragments, and an ARVN mortar killed this guerrilla. Viet Cong harassing fire during the post's construction led to a disagreement between advisor and counterpart when Johnston recommended clearing fields of fire in opposition to Conn's desire to spare the local farmers coconut and banana trees. Johnston won his point, and SDC personnel, together with members of the battalion, burned fields of fire on both sides of the canal. The following day, another battalion soldier was critically wounded by sniper fire at 11:50 hours, a significant time since it was 10 minutes before virtually all ARVN troops took a 2-hour siesta. ARVN helicopter units did not respond to a request for evacuation, and almost certainly would not during the siesta period. Deeply concerned, Johnston radioed a request to the regimental advisor for a U.S. piloted helicopter. He received a regretful refusal, because only when ARVN refused a mission could U.S. pilots be sent. Three hours later, an ARVN helicopter landed. The wounded man lost his right eye and was paralyzed on the right side. Johnston, deeply involved, helped load him on the helicopter. With the SDC post almost completed, the battalion moved the bulldozer across the canal to assist in the construction of a watchtower. While being offloaded from an LCM, it became stuck in the soft mud. Johnston and his counterpart hurried to the scene. Having had some experience with tracked vehicles, Johnston felt he had the solution, but kept it to himself to permit Conn to direct operations. The battalion commander's methods were suitable for wheeled vehicles, but only succeeded in bogging down the tractor even more. Both the battalion commander and his U.S. advisor were worried for several reasons. First, they might lose a bulldozer. Second, the troops were under harassing fire. And third, the all-important deadline of Tet was drawing closer. Delay could well cost the men their holiday, and battalion morale could become dangerously low. As he later admitted, Johnston's concern for the men led him to use poor judgment. He attempted to advise his counterpart in front of his officers and men, leading Conn to reject the recommended solution. Conn's acceptance of advice given in front of others would have caused him to lose face, so he continued to use his own methods. Even procurement of a second bulldozer and use of all available men didn't help. Finally, Johnston, in private, issued an ultimatum to Conn: use the method he had recommended, or he would make a report to regiment. This would result in even greater loss of face and possible disciplinary action for Khan. The battalion commander reluctantly gave in. Johnston's method was to anchor the bottom of the track to a stationary object so the tractor would pull itself over its own treads and out of the hole it had dug for itself. His method worked. The men threw their hats in the air in a spontaneous expression of joy. They made it. A few days later, their mission was fully accomplished. The SDC post was completed. The SDC men and their families moved in to man the post and set up housekeeping, bringing in firewood for cooking and drinking water. It was a scene of domestic tranquility against a backdrop of anticipated violence. With the post fully completed in 10 days, the battalion headed back to Duquois. The Viet Cong, unsympathetic as always, hit them with an ambush. It was quickly met with small arms and mortar fire. Khan directed the action. More 1st Battalion casualties were added to the price of the SDC post. Captured VC prisoners showed there was another side to the balance sheet. Now they could complete the final leg of their journey back to Duquois. A few days later, Captain Johnston received orders for reassignment to the United States. He had said goodbye to all the men except the wounded. His good friend, Khan, was with him on this last mission. There was a heartwarming mutual respect between advisor and counterpart, and between officers and men. At least one advisory technique had burned itself deeply into Johnston's subconscious. These were indeed his troops. It was time for him to return to the United States and for Lieutenant Clement to replace him. The new battalion advisor had already learned, as Johnston had, that a careless word or action could not only jeopardize the success of a mission, but could cost the United States dearly in goodwill and cooperation. He recognized that the rapport developed by Captain Johnston had been achieved at great personal sacrifice and at considerable cost to the United States. Inevitably, there would be problems. It would be up to him to work them out as Johnston had. However, one fact was certain. All else being equal, he would have an easier time of it because his predecessor had laid the foundation of a workable relationship with his counterpart and the rest of the battalion.